What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and today I am joined, of course, with Haley, and we also have a very special guest, an awesome Patreon supporter named Xavier.
Hello.
So today we have a very interesting topic regarding Steven Universe, as you can tell by the title. We wanted to kind of discuss the implications of how hard it is to shatter a gem. Now we know gems have different properties based on like how hard they are to shatter. We know that specifically we learned in Kindergarten Kid that paradots are very hard to even poof, which is very interesting, seeing as Garnet poof Peridot. So that shows how strong Garnet is. She's stronger than a falling boulder, which is pretty cool. So we know different gems have different properties. So what do you guys think about regarding how hard it is to shatter a gem?
I mean, in general, it seems that gems are actually pretty easy to shatter. Now, of course, shattering is different than just poofing it, like what Garnet did to Peridot.
Yeah.
But it does seem like they're also pretty easy to shatter or just crack in general, as we've seen with Lapis. She was damaged after only getting stepped on while in the mirror, which probably wasn't, who knows, it wasn't like all that forceful on purpose. Yeah, so we'll have to see we haven't seen yet like a gem actually getting shattered, but cracked is pretty close. Kind of, we don't know the difference really.
Yeah, we don't know all the information, but we can get some from the show at this point. So pretty much, I think diamonds in general in the real world are hard to break. Diamonds are pretty hard to crack. According to the toughness of a diamond is about 2.0 MPa, which is a good compared to other gemstones. So judging by that, it's gonna be really hard to break, even scratch a diamond, let alone one of the 4 diamonds.
Yeah, and that would make sense for the diamonds, obviously being the leaders of Homeworld and just the gem race in general. Something that's really interesting is that Bismuth basically made, Rosa's sword designed to poof a gem, but never shatter a gem. I'm not sure how you design a weapon so it is just strong enough, but not that strong, especially a sword. You would think it would just do that anyway. But what's really interesting is that apparently, according to Bismuth, Homeworld was actually shattering gems on the battlefield during the war and just in their general everyday practices. So that's very interesting because the only Homeworld weapon we've actually seen is the axe in the hologram, Pearl's hologram. That was like a flashback of the war. We saw an axe. So I'm not sure why that axe is capable of shattering gems and why the sword isn't. I don't know if that's magic or what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what could have possibly been the thing that could shatter gems, probably pretty easily, because apparently, according to Bismuth, the breaking point was unique because it was able to shatter a gem in one shot, which means that Homeworld had nothing like this, even though they were able to shatter gems in a large scale, shown by the cluster and all the gem shard creatures, the amalgates or whatever. And we know that this technology was also available prior to the war, because Pearl says in Frivo that gem shards had been used throughout history to create drones. So this is a pretty common practice. I don't know why they did it before the war, killing their own kind, but it did happen. And I don't know how exactly.
I think it kind of makes sense for Homeworld to be shattering gems before the war, only because we know they're like borderline a dictatorship of sorts. So, they weren't very lenient with people. They weren't very forgiving. So like we saw with Blue Diamond was going to break Ruby. Obviously that's not the same as Shattered, but they clearly had punishments for gems that they thought were going out of line and stuff like that. I don't know if they've become more lenient, or I guess it depends on the gem and the level of the crime, because it doesn't seem like Yellow Diamond's too worried about Peridot. seeing as she sent the rubies for Jasper and not Peridot after she called her a clod. So I don't know if there's going to be a gem that's going to come, find Peridot to break her or shatter her just because of the rules of that society or whatever. I'm not sure what's going on. Or maybe she assumes the Earth is going to blow up because she doesn't know the cluster was stopped. So maybe she just thinks Peridot's going to die in that explosion.
Yeah, we do know they have like a resource shortage, so they're probably pretty short on workers at the moment.
True.
But yeah, so that's probably why nobody has come for Peridot, because maybe they didn't think, first of all, the Earth is supposed to be gone, but also she wasn't really high up or anything like that. But on another note, like you were talking about earlier, Xavier, you were saying that diamonds are like really hard to shatter. Probably compared to like most other gems, or possibly more than all of them, especially in the context of the show where diamonds are like the rulers of all the gems. So if diamonds might not be able to be shattered easily, what do you think Rose did to shatter Pink Diamond, if she did? Or just I don't know, like how do you think that happened, or if it was possible, I guess?
Well, I'm gonna go towards Michael's theory that Rose didn't shatter.
So she didn't.
Yes.
What's interesting about that is even if she didn't and it was like all fake, there are people who think she did shatter Pink Diamond. So I'm assuming that there is a way to shatter diamonds, maybe, that Homeworld knows about, that maybe not everyone.
And Rose figured out something that could shatter a diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we don't officially know everything he may have.
Because the show deliberately says, actually, that Homeworld has been doing this for a long time, and then we've seen them, gems are actually pretty easy to break, but we just don't know how Pink Diamond supposedly was broken. If not by Rose's sword, then what?
Some gems are easier to break than others. Like you said, now Lapis got stepped on, and she got broken. But then you could also make the argument that gems are so strong that a gem stepping on another gem isn't the same as a human stepping on a gem.
Depending on how you see gems, whether it's in the real world or the series, we can easily scratch. For example, we bend gold just by using our teeth back in Gold Rush. So even our material, even diamonds can scratch windows and glass just by scratching.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to the whole, gems are stronger than humans, and again that goes back to Garnet being able to poof Peridot when boulders falling on her couldn't, because clearly Peridots are built stronger than other gems, so they don't poof as easily. So clearly Garnet is stronger than a falling boulder, so that stands to reason that the gem that may have broken Lapis is stronger than your average human, but that still doesn't really constitute what can shatter a gem. Can only gem weapons? Maybe gem weapons are designed a certain way with a certain type of magic or material or something that is specifically designed to shatter gems. We're not really sure.
Well, I'm not 100% sure what else to talk about, but as far as we know from this season, which has been an amazing summer, until the hiatus ends and the next Steven Universe episode comes, we can theorize more about gems and their capability of shattering.
Yeah, I think generally what it looks like is the case based on what Eyeball said about Rose shattering Pink Diamond, how she remembers the sword, and seeing that Bismuth specifically had to design the breaking point to shatter gems. It doesn't seem like gems are capable of shattering gems by themselves. It looks like they have to craft some sort of weapon to shatter them. How they do this, I have absolutely no idea, but I guess we'll find out maybe in the future. But I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Thank you Xavier so much for joining us. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate it, man.
It's my pleasure. You guys are great.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I've been Michael Williams, joined with Haley and Xavier. If you think you have an idea of how to shatter gems other than the idea that we presented, let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter and support our Patreon if you want. Like Xavier, you could join us on a discussion. hopefully we have a little more evidence for the next discussion.
Yes.
But till next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.